Hello everyone! This is Miss Anna from the Eldersburg Library at Exploration Point, which is where I am right now. I'm the only person here, which is why I do not have my mask on. If other people were in here, I would. But this is my first system-wide program, so thank you all for getting a craft kit. Thank you for tuning in today. And we are going to be making Wigglebots. This is going to be super cool. You should have, well, if you're watching this video, you probably picked up your craft kit from your branch. And you've gotten this cute little cup, which is such a fun way of packaging this. And I'm going to be honest, this is my first time making the Wigglebot too, so we're going to learn together. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is unbox our cup here. I'm going to show you guys how to make the craft, and then you can try it out for yourself at home. So we gotta unload all our supplies here. We should have 3 of these colorful popsicle sticks. 3 of those. You'll have a sheet of these little foam sticks that all come apart. You'll have this little, mine's stuck in the cup, this little rubber band. Looks like this. You'll have a motor with a red and black wire, a battery, and this piece that looks like a piece of hot glue gun. And perhaps most importantly, you'll have this instruction sheet. And all of the instructions for your craft are on the back here, and you'll want to follow along with those. And you're also going to need to keep your cup, because that's what you're going to use to make the Wigglebot. And with that said, let's get started. So I actually learned about this after I recorded most of the video, but something that's really helpful is if you go on the website makeasnack.com/makesnacks that you see up here, and you'll also get a link to this in your cup in the little instruction sheet. You can go to the website for Future Makers, who are the people who made the Wigglebot kit. And if you scroll down here and click Wigglebots on that cute little thing there, you can actually find some instructions for how to make the activity in English and Spanish, and I think that's super cool. It'll show you some of the concepts you learn about, like the circuits. We'll talk about that later in the video. And it teaches you some other cool stuff. It tells you what materials you're going to need. And if you go back up, and I'm going to click on the English instructions, it opens a page, and it'll take you to this real cool slideshow where it walks you through every single step with some videos. And I'll show you guys the one I made, but if you have any desire to check this one out instead, I think it's super helpful. You can use my video, theirs, or both. But I think that's a great resource for doing this craft. And you just click through it, and it shows you the entire process. And I think that's super cool. And it even shows you some other activities at the end. So if you have any interest in checking that out, you can find the website on your instruction sheet that you'll get in your cup. And I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So our first step is that we're going to take this little battery that comes in our kit and this rubber piece, and we're going to wrap that around the battery long ways. So it'll look like this. Doesn't matter which side you put in as long as it's long ways, and you do want to make sure that's secure. It'll look like this. On our instruction sheet, that's the number 1 right here. Next up, for number 2, it looks as if we want to take our hot glue gun piece and push it onto this part of the metal. I'm going to tilt my screen down so you can see my hands, but it looks like, following the instructions here, it looks as if they want us to put it towards the end, push the end of the glue stick into the metal piece. So we're going to try something like this. We're going to measure it out a little bit around here-ish and push that into the metal piece. And you'll need some strength here. You might want to ask an adult to help you out. Just maneuver that in. There we go. Mine is starting to go in there. Alright, I think mine is in there real good now. And you can see that it is connected to that metal piece. It spins around by it now. If I flick it, that's what we want to see. I'm going to bring this back up. And it looks like our next step is to attach these 3 sticks to the cup. I'm going to go back down again, and I'm going to find my cup, turn it upside down, and I'm going to grab, looks like we need one of these little foam pieces, so I'm going to break one of those off. Well, not like that. Did not mean to take the white part off with it. And I don't think I'm going to need that entire piece to tether that down. So I'm going to take it like this, grab a pair of scissors from off screen here, and cut out about this much. So I'm going to take a piece that's about this wide, peel off the paper, and I only peeled off about half the paper so I can measure it out. And according to my instructions, it looks like I want to put the stick about this. I want about, you know what, let's grab a ruler and measure this. Now I've got a ruler, and it looks, give or take, I think I want to give it about 1 inch at the bottom. So I'm going to take my ruler here. You can't see super well in my video. And I'm going to measure about 1 inch from the bottom. I'm actually going to grab a pencil, and I think I want mine to be about the little feet here that go beyond the edge of the cup. I want that to be about 1 inch. So I'm going to find 1 inch on the ruler and draw a little line there on my popsicle stick. Then I'm going to take my cup, choose a point, and line up that line I just made with the edge of the cup. And I'm going to take my foam piece and just tack that down. Peel off the rest of the paper, which is proving to be trickier than I thought it would be. I'm going to bring this back up. I think you can see me better when I do it like this. I'm going to tack down the other side of that, and I'm going to rub that really good. I'm going to rub that down so it sticks. And now I've got about 1 inch of popsicle stick going over the edge of the cup. And I'm going to do the same thing with my other sticks. I'm going to grab this orange one. I'm going to measure about 1 inch from the bottom, draw myself a guideline. Now, is this enough? I don't know if that's enough to cover it, but I'll try. I'm going to, and see, we want to make sure we have the sticks evenly spread apart on all ends of the cup. So I'm going to go directly opposite. And I don't think I want that. I want it to be, I'm going to actually take my other stick and kind of figure out where I want them to go. I'm going to estimate it. I'm going to estimate that they want to be about that far apart from one another. It's always a good idea to look at it with all 3. So I'm going to hold that down there, line up that line I drew, take a piece of foam and tack that down, just like this. And now I've got 2 sticks on. Now I'm going to take my green one, same process. Line it up with the inch on, line it up with my ruler, measure about 1 inch and draw a line. Need a new piece of sticky stuff. So I'm going to pull out a new piece of sticky stuff. Going to cut out about the amount I need. And I've actually learned that I want to kind of peel that off a little bit first. Then I want this to be in the center of these 2 on the opposite side. So I'm going to take my line, line it up with the edge, take my adhesive foam, and just tack that down. Make sure it sticks. And now that stands up on its own, so I think I'm good to go. Great, and now we can move on to step number 4, which looks like it's our fun part. It looks like we're gonna be putting our motor together. Hey, future Miss Anna here. I'm just cutting in with a quick interlude that if you do want your Wigglebot to like stay together long term, I have since discovered after filming the video that the foam adhesive does not really stay that sticky. And it's really easy for the popsicle sticks to fall off. So if you have some like masking tape or even like a thin duct tape at home, that'll keep your sticks on a lot better than the foam does. So I would say use the foam while you're experimenting and trying out different positions for the popsicle sticks. But if you want it to stay together long term, I'd recommend using like masking tape. Just wanted to cut in and let you know. Alright, so for step 4, it looks like, and they've got a lot crammed into this step, but it looks as if we're going to take this propeller thing that we made with our glue stick and our motor, and with the wire side facing up, you want to put that on the edge of your cup lid like this. And you want that actually hanging a little bit off. I'm going to put it about here. And you want to make sure that the little bits with the wires are facing up and your propeller is facing out outside of your cup. Let's tilt that down a little bit so you guys can see. And we're going to need a big strip of the adhesive to tack that down. And it looks like you're probably going to want the whole piece for that, so I'm just going to grab a whole piece of my adhesive here, of my foam, and use that to attach my motor or my wires to the cup. So now we got this motor attached there. Next we need our battery. So you'll notice that your battery, I gotta find where it's written down on mine. So I'm going to make a little edit here that you want to make sure when you put your rubber band on, you'll find a plus sign on your battery. You want to make sure you can see that when you put on your rubber band. So make sure you don't cover that up with the rubber. I think the rubber's going to act like an insulator so you don't like shock yourself on the battery. So your battery looks like this. Now, currently my Wigglebot's a little top heavy because it's got this unbalancing it. But we're going to want to make sure that the plus side is on the side of the red wire. So I'm going to turn it around this way. Uh-oh, my orange one came loose. I think it might actually be a good idea to take some of this leftover adhesive and put another piece of the tape on my sticks. And I'm going to do that once I make sure I have adhesive left at the end. But I'm going to take my battery, and I've turned it so you can see it, and this is my plus side. See that plus sign? So I'm going to make sure that I attach it that way so that the plus faces the red wire. And then I'm going to take a strip of my orange adhesive, and once again I'm just going to use the whole strip to make sure I have enough. Plus side goes on the red side, and we're going to stick that opposite our motor. And I am just going to tape that right down, tape that battery right directly to my cup. Make sure it won't fall off. And now here's the fun part. We're going to connect our wires in our battery here. So you're going to take your black wire, and I'm going to bring this up close to the camera. You're going to slip it underneath the rubber band and make sure it's stuck in there, make sure it's connected. And next we're going to take our red wire and we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm not going to put my robot down on the ground yet. Ooh, you'll notice as soon as I stuck that in there, that propeller started going. So make sure your hands are clear of that propeller. Alright, you ready? Oh, check that out. I want to make sure the wire's stuck in there really good, and there it goes. Oh, that's really going. It's going all over the place. It's about, oh! And you'll notice what happened there is, oh, hello. Now how do I catch it so I can turn it off? Hi there. And you'll notice, if you want to turn your robot off, you just gotta pull out one of these wires. So I'm just gonna pull out my black wire here, and that turned my robot back off. So that was a lot more intense than I expected it to be. But it looks as if our propeller makes the robot go, and the battery connected to the motor makes the whole cup vibrate. So once that propeller's going, it's just going to start skittering around in all directions. And I think that's pretty fun. So I just cleared the space and scooted my computer back so you can see our Wigglebot better. I just did like a test. Oh, I'm the only one here. I can take this off so you can actually hear me. But I did like a test on the carpet, and the Wigglebot does tend to fall over when you do it on carpet, so it's best to do it on a wood surface or a counter, just make sure it doesn't fall off. But I cleared an area so you could see the Wigglebot move better. So I'm going to just stick the black wire back into place and get my hands free of the propeller. And there it goes. Oh, look at it. That is so fun. I've just been sitting here watching this go for like 5 minutes. It's bringing me so much joy. There he goes. Woo! That's fun. You can see if you go a little poop. See if it goes in another direction. Oh, this is fun. And again, if you want to turn it off, just pick it up and carefully pull one of those wires out of your rubber band. And you'll notice I also did put another round of the foam adhesive on, just because I think that makes it sturdier, and I had a decent amount left. So I think that's super cool. Now that we've built our Wigglebot, I'm going to show you guys a cool activity that you can try and get your Wigglebot to draw with some markers. So I went and got some tape. Take my gloves off so they don't get tapey. And I got 3 like skinny markers. And I'm going to take a piece of tape and tape each of these markers to the popsicle stick. And it'll be easier if I take the caps off. I'm going to grab a piece of cardboard. You can use cardboard, you can use a big sheet of paper. I'm going to hold that down because apparently it's bendy. And I'm going to take the cap off the marker. Catch that cap before it rolls away. Give it a test to make sure it works, which it does. And I'm going to tape that marker to one of my craft sticks. It looks like I need a bigger piece of tape than I used, so I'm going to grab one. Tape my marker against one of the craft sticks with the point lining up to the edge of the craft stick, but I'm just going to tape that directly to the cup so it's easier to take off when I'm done. And I'm going to go repeat that with these other 2 markers that I found. So I've got these 2 sheets of white paper, and I've adjusted my markers so they don't fall down or make the robot uneven. And I'm going to set my markers down, plug in my robot, and see what happens. And I'm also going to be very careful to make sure I always nudge the robot back onto the paper. I'm actually going to turn it this way because I think that might be easier to monitor. We're going to stick that in there, and there it goes right away. Check out those dots. I'm just going to keep pushing it and making sure. I'm going to pick it up and put it on this side because that's going to be the direction it wants to go in. I think this is really cool. Check this out. When the robot's allowed to just bounce on its own and wiggle on its own, it makes these cool circular patterns with the dots. And because it's kind of bouncing up and down, it doesn't necessarily draw a straight line, but it creates this cool dot pattern. I think these patterns are always really cool. And then you could see if one of the markers was kind of not leaning upright, you got these little back and forth lines instead of the bouncy dots. Because instead of going up and down, it was being dragged, so it started going like this instead. And then when I was nudging it so it wouldn't go off the edge, it started drawing these wavy lines. I think that's really cool. And this will be even cooler if you have big paper at home and you can just let it go free. So I think that's a really fun thing to do with your Wigglebot. Another cool thing that we can observe from our Wigglebots is that we created a circuit. So a circuit is a closed path that allows electricity to flow from one point to another, usually from a source of electricity to something powered by the electricity. Our battery here is the source, and our motor is powered by the electricity. And if you notice that we have the 2 wires, we need to connect a positive and a negative side of the energy source in order to create the flow of electricity. in our circuit, we want electrons, which are negatively charged particles, to flow through the circuit from the negative to positive side. And in order to do so, we need a conductor, which is our wires. And the circuit won't work unless it's complete, which is why we connect one wire to the positive side and the other to the negative. And so right now our circuit is incomplete, so it's not going to work. So I need to connect our other conductive wire by touching the two metal pieces, because a lot of metals are conductive. And there we go, it turns on. In this case, the wire acts like the switch, which is what you use to turn your circuit on and off, or to open and close your circuit. So I think that's another really cool STEM aspect. There's also a lot of cool experiments you can do with your Wigglebot. You can try adding another popsicle stick leg and see how that affects it. You can see what happens when you make one of the legs longer than the other ones, or even shorter. And you can even see if you can try and find a way to make it wiggle more or wiggle faster. Another idea would be to move the location of your propeller and your battery and see how that affects it. See what happens if you put them both in the center. There's lots of fun things you can try once you've made your robot. So I think that's a really fun craft. I'm going to make it go one more time to finish it out. And I hope you all had fun with this. Please show pictures and videos of your Wigglebots in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys put together. Try decorating your Wigglebot. I might go stick Google eyes on mine just because I think that would be fun. You can decorate it. You can color your cup. Put Google eyes on it, like I said. Put all sorts of decorations on it. I would love to see what you guys come up with. So just go ahead and put a photo or a video of your finished Wigglebot in the comments of this post. I'll keep an eye on them. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments or email me at ajohns@carr.org. And I hope you all have fun. Thanks for tuning into this program. Thank you for picking up a kit. And everybody have a great day. Let's get this going one more time. Whee! Here it goes. Oh, not off the table. This way. Thank you.